video deals with factoring using the method of the difference of two squares. Now there's a very important formula used to do this method. If you have something squared minus something squared, you can just recognize what your A is and what your B is, plug it right into this formula, and solve. So if you're being tested on this, I suggest you memorize this formula. So let's take an example. If you're given x to the fourth minus 64 equals 0, the most important thing we have to do is recognize what A is and what B is, and see that both of these terms are something squared. So we can rewrite x to the fourth as x squared squared, right? Because using our laws of exponents, we can multiply these two, giving us x to the fourth, which is exactly what we want, minus 8 squared, because 8 squared is 64. So now we have this equation in the form of a squared minus b squared, with our a being x squared and our b being 8. So we can go ahead and plug both of these values into our formula. We have a plus b, so x squared plus 8 times a minus b times x squared minus 8, all equal to 0. Now, just as in any factoring, if we have something times something else equals 0, we know that one or both of these terms must be 0. So to do that, let's take each term and set it equal to 0. Let's go ahead and do the second one first. We have x squared minus 8 equals 0. Now we want to get x by itself, so let's go ahead and add 8 to both sides, leaving us with x squared equals 8. To get rid of the squared, we would just take the square root, leaving us with x equals square root of 8. And remember that whenever we take the square root of something, we cannot forget to add the plus and the minus. And if you wish, using our laws of radicals, we can rewrite the square root of 8 as 2 square root of 2. So we have x equals plus or minus 2 square root of 2 as two of our solutions, because the positive and the negative. Now let's take, since we already took the second term and set it equal to 0, let's do the same thing with the first term. We have x squared plus 8 equals 0. Let's go ahead and subtract 8 from both sides, leaving us with x squared equals negative 8. To get the x alone, we take the square root, leaving us with x equals square root of negative 8. Don't forget your plus and your minus. Whenever you see a negative number inside of a radical, think I. So we can rewrite this as x equals plus or minus square root of, just taking the prime factorization of 8, not the prime factorization, negative 1 times 4 times 2, which again, using our laws of radicals, we have x equals plus or minus square root of negative 1 times square root of 4 times square root of 2. Now, we know that square root of negative 1 is I, so we can rewrite this as I. Square root of 4 is 2, and square root of 2 is just simply square root of 2. Now, just to make this look a little nicer, we have x equals plus or minus 2 I square root of 2. And those are our second two solutions. And we're done.